how did we get interested in craft beef for the first time? You know, it wasn't until after starting the company. You know, we started the company with the idea, you know, with the inspiration of a friend who said, oh, I'm getting my cow on Friday from a local farm and the beef is just so much better. And really wanting that romantic ideal of knowing your farmer, but also just wanting that beef that he said was just so much better, right? But as we went out and talked to farmers, what we realized was a lot of our preconceptions of what beef is were just blown away by what farmers were telling us. So for example, the common refrain is that grass-fed beef is better for you, right? Whereas farmers will say, well, the grass here in Washington is special. Or in Montana, there's a clump grass with high protein. Or in eastern Washington, where it's dry, they'll say, hey Joe, grass doesn't grow out here, so we grow corn and feed them corn. And just made us feel like there's a nuance to it that produces different things that you have to respect and honor in terms of how a particular farmer in their locale is taking care of their environment, their community, and preserving their family tradition. It made us realize that the variety that's out there, the differences, are something to respect and really something fun to explore, and that it leads to unique, incredible, different flavors. Craft beef, similar to craft beer, or coffee, or chocolate, or any of these other food categories where you have this wonderful, rich world to explore of flavors. In our opinion, what's needed is it's got to be small batch. It's got to be a person who cares. It's typically birth to harvest in one place, with someone who's independent or family run, humane treatment of animals, because that leads to high quality beef, and it's got to be in respect and preservation of the local environment. So typically what you'll find is no unnecessary antibiotics or growth hormones, pesticides or fertilizers of any kind, because this is the land where their children play and they want the animals to be healthy because of the natural environment. I was never a vegetarian. In fact, one of my earliest memories is my mom saying, oh, we're gonna have steak on Friday, and me just being so excited. You know, it's why when my friend came to the office one day saying, oh, I'm getting my cow on Friday, I'm so excited, that I saw that excitement that only a child has. For me, that kind of proves that like the natural proteins of beef are just primal and important. So no, I've never been vegetarian, and those natural proteins that you get from beef are pretty important for brain health and your body. There is no typical day in running Crowd Cow. You know, I spend probably half my time with farmers and another half my time with customers. And then the rest of the time with my team, you know, nights and weekends, right? So I'm out there on the road. You know, I was in the last month and a half, I've been to Montana, Texas, ranches in Washington, and even Japan twice to meet with small farmers, to learn how they raise their unique breed, what their practices are, to sample and taste their beef. I've met with chefs, explored how to cook it, and we're bringing all that back to the website via video, recipes, and information, so that that rich experience and that exploration of craft beef can be something everyone can enjoy. The book was a work in progress for just about a year. I mean, it started as, you know, to be honest, like on the computer, a little notepad file of little stories. I had, you know, an experience with a farm where they would say something and I would say, oh my gosh, that's incredible. And I'd write it down, you know, or I'd have a near-death experience, you know, almost being trampled by a herd of cattle or whatever. Or I'd write it down. And if that eventually, you know, that would make a great book, because a lot of these things that we learned, you know, such as grass-fed beef is being done by the big industrial beef companies that feed the supermarkets and restaurants as manufactured grass pellets in a feed yard. You know, and for us it was like, that story needs to be told. People have to understand. Or it's the idea that there are something like 300 breeds of cattle. That's something that blew my mind when I first learned it, and we needed to explore that and write it down and create a book. That's what the book is, Craft Beef. We've got a number of things coming up. We've almost at 100 independent farms in our network. primarily here in the United States. We've got several firms in Japan that are producing luxury beef. I just went to Japan with a three Michelin star chef. We're going to be doing a lot more exploration with top chefs. They want our beef. They want to explore how to cook it with us. We want to get them on the website. That's really fun. Today we just launched a pasture-raised hot dog, probably the cleanest, most delicious, purest hot dog that you could find anywhere. And just continuing to get the word out about Crowd Cow and to keep enabling and working with these small batch producers. You know, I have a small kid, he's 7 years old, and so working is justified as showing him a work ethic and showing him why it's important to know where your food comes from and to be a good role model. But when I'm not actually working on the company, which is rare, I just like to go swimming with him and hang out and go to the movies and just normal stuff like that. My last concert? Oh my gosh, I think it was Wilco. If you head to crowdcow.com/thehype, you can learn a lot about Crowd Cow. You can see what we're featured now, and there'll be a special offer just for the people who read The Hype. Have fun, play, study, be nice, and know where your food comes from. Take the time to make sure you know what you're eating in your body makes you who you are.